Hello everyone and welcome to the Hylian Gamescast, episode 70. Today our co-hosts are Daniel and Holly.
Hello.
This comes from Nintendo Enthusiast, where they say, rumor, live-action Pokemon Red Blue film coming for Pokemon Cinematic Universe. Already that sounds awesome.
Everyone
if true,
get in that Marvel game.
Yeah. Like, if true, that seems awesome, but it seems like it's too good to be true. But if the Detective Pikachu movie comes out and is a huge success, then they would just be stupid not to do follow-up Pokemon movies. So the article says, we got this covered as a... Oh, there's already a typo there. As a source that claims films very loosely based on Pokemon Red Blue are planned for production, the intent is allegedly for Pokemon to exist in the same universe as Detective Pikachu, and for it to be a start of a Pokemon cinematic universe of sorts. To reiterate, this is all very much rumor. On one hand, I can totally see this happening. Everybody wants to strike gold like the Marvel Cinematic Universe did. That being said, nobody else has struck gold like Marvel has yet, including DC and Universal. Could Pokemon succeed where others failed? Absolutely. Do I particularly care if it actually happens or not? God, no. It's okay for standalone, high-quality movies to exist. They don't all need to be part of some greater fabric in the cosmos. Anyways, let us know how you feel. So yeah, basically, there's a rumor going around that they have plans for a real Pokemon movie, based off of the anime or the cartoon, the manga, the games, all of the source material that we know from being a kid. Basically the same story that they recently remade with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And as I mentioned before we read the article, I think it's an obvious thing to where if they didn't do a follow-up, if this is a success, then they would be stupid, because they're just leaving money on the table. And it's the same with Nintendo working on the animated Mario movie. I almost said animated Pokemon movie, but there's like a new one of those almost every year. But the animated Mario movie that Nintendo is working on, if that is a success as well, then it would be stupid for them not to do a follow-up or take another property like Zelda, Metroid, or whatever, and do a movie or a series with something like that. But if it comes out and it's a complete failure, then they're just going to scrap all of these ideas. We've seen that with like Marvel and DC when they've mentioned that they...
Terrifying. Not even so much like the Pokemon being like CGI and whatnot, but I personally am more afraid of the actors. Audience in general. Some people will love it. Some people will not. Like, you'll never be able to please anyone. But I don't know. It scares me in general when you think of live action things. My favorite movie, for example, as a child was Beauty and the Beast. And I love Beauty and the Beast. And when Disney recently did the remake, I was just kind of like, well, this is great. But, you know, the wonderful main actress who played Belle sucked. We all know who that is, but I'm a musical theater major, and I'm someone who loves singing and well-trained vocalists, and you can't have Hermione Granger, who can't sing a day in her life, playing a character who was originally classically trained. You know what I mean? So, like, you're going to have people like me who are extremely picky, and they're like, no, this doesn't work. So.
Yeah, I think auto-tune is completely fine, but if you want to get someone to play the role of a person who is known for all of these songs that are in a movie that is a musical, then you need to find an actor that's not just famous, but maybe one that's famous that also knows how to sing really well.
And that's the hard thing with when you're adapting child movies that were animated to real life movies with lots of CGI for like Pokemon and stuff, because not only will they want it to succeed, but they might do the same thing. They might go with actors who are already very established to help carry it, or what they think might carry it, as opposed to doing something a little bit more risky and hiring newer actors, people we might not know, who would then might carry that role extremely well, because then you associate that person with, say, Ash forever. You're like, oh my god, this is Ash, but that actor is like brand new or something. You know what I mean? So it's always difficult when you're casting roles, depending on whether they go for established actors or new people who then can become extremely famous from that one role. So it's, yeah, Hollywood is weird. So
yeah, it would also one of the, I guess, the main selling points for the casual audience and the Detective Pikachu movie is that Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Pikachu. So if they do have this cinematic universe or whatever, a lot of people that are just casual fans that watch it and then they see that, oh, there's another Pokemon movie, is like they might go in expecting that it's still Ryan Reynolds with Pikachu instead of like some, I guess, the original voice actress for Pikachu. So I could see where that might be a bit confusing for people, but then it's like, well, there's thousands of Pikachu, they're not all Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, if they, oh my goodness. I know, I know the original voice actress for Ash. We've traveled together to cons all the time. She's a wonderful human. And oh my god, I could just like imagine them casting like Ash as someone and just her being like, because she's done that with some of the other people that have voiced him after her.
Oh. Maybe not cause any unnecessary drama.
Shade.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Daniel, what are your thoughts on all of this? Are you foaming out the mouth for this?
I don't know. I don't know if I am, to be honest. I don't know. Not everything does need to be like this big, connected cinematic universe.
But Daniel, it's Detective Pikachu.
Okay, Detective Pikachu, and
don't you want to see Mr. Mime again?
I never want to look at Mr. Mime in any context.
Even worse, you could have that bad Ditto that can't quite like transform, so his eyes are really beady. Have him transform into a Mr. Mime, so it looks even scarier.
This is the worst. But like with Detective Pikachu, like regarding the whole like style of animation, I think like overall Pokemon works better animated or cartoon or anime or but I think it kind of works for Detective Pikachu because it almost is satirizing Pokemon in itself, and so it kind of works because you don't have like the normal sort of Pokemon setup where you've got a trainer who's going out and doing everything. You've got this one who should have maybe been a trainer, and then suddenly the Pikachu is Ryan Reynolds and he's mouthing off to him and stuff. So it's almost, sidelining Pokemon
it's more of a standalone. It can easily be a standalone.
So for that, like, to be its own just standalone film, I'm all over that. But to try and build this really live action, super heavy CGI Pokemon cinematic universe just seems like very ambitious, but I just can see it falling flat very quickly. I don't know. Especially because Pokemon fans, their reaction to new stuff is not always the best. Like we've seen, they had the that Pokemon movie where Pikachu had a voice actor.
Oh, I just watched
for
that.
like one line. It was like one line,
the other day.
People went nuts about
it's
that.
It's not good.
And like, I'll acknowledge that it isn't. It's not good. But the reaction was maybe a little more heavy-handed than it needed to be. So I can see if they were trying to do something nuts with this PCU, I'm going to call it the Pokemon Cinematic Universe. I feel like it's just going to fall flat on its face very quickly. And it's sad because I like Pokemon. I'm not a huge Pokemon fan, but I like Pokemon, and I'd be sad to see something like that fail because the other Pokemon movies are enjoyable enough. They're not like super well thought out, Christopher Nolan thought-provoking movies, but
they are written for like 8-year-old kids.
That's not the point. Okay, well, I watched some with my son who's 6, so that's my excuse.
Well, and you also have to think about if they take such a large risk, for example, and it fails like extremely badly, that can have some pretty Nintendo's a pretty big company, but it can have some pretty bad effects for future things. Like Square Enix, right? Square Enix had to merge. Square had to merge because they literally just released a movie that did not cost so much money. Spirits Within cost so much money that it basically they tanked the whole company.
Yeah,
and they're basically doing
Bros.
It
Movie
again
too. Like,
right? Exactly.
so
you have to be careful
before Nintendo like ever even wanted to dip their toes in like making a Nintendo movie after that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
What a time. What a time.
I remember that with Square. There was a lot of interviews where like they had mentioned like exactly how much money they had put into the main digital actor for the movie.
Right, yeah.
And they wanted her to not just be in that movie, but they wanted to use that same character model for other movies, or like to use her as an actual model for clothes and stuff, which oddly enough is what we've seen with Lightning in some companies.
Yeah.
So it seems like they went back to that idea for Final Fantasy, using like real fashion brands and everything to model these clothes and stuff, which I guess is a neat idea. I don't know what I would think if I seen Link like modeling Gucci or something, but for Square, I think it works.
Be a Gucci boy. He might be a Gucci boy.
I don't know. He has so many different outfits in Breath of the Wild. Who knows? But with the Pokemon thing, it just makes me wonder. Like they wouldn't just have to like find actors for Ash or Team Rocket or whoever, but then there's also like Brock and Misty, and then do they make it a movie where they join in and follow along, or do they make it so that he just goes to the gym and then that's it? They don't follow along? How do they do that?
If they're making it like a red and blue retail, like the first Pokemon series is kind of loosely red or blue, but if they were going for something a little more close to the games, then we wouldn't be looking at Ash as a main character anyways.
Oh yeah,
looking at
that's
probably Red, and like his little adventure, which is pretty much what the Let's Go games were already anyways. Like I think if they really want to make another Pokemon movie, they should just have an original story and not just retell the same thing they've already made like how many, like 7-8 games about already. Like so but I mean that's kind of the same answer for my Zelda movie thing that we've been asked about many times.
Yes.
You know, don't just remake the game. Just if you're going to make a movie, just make something new with that. So
yeah, plus it would be a bit odd seeing like a 10-year-old kid being followed around by like an adult male and adult
I always got the impression Misty was like a teenager,
female.
Not like Ash is like 10 forever.
In real life, it doesn't really look too good on anyone's part. You know,
they all look weird.
Yeah, like
just
there's
sending a
Brock
child
like heavily change his character because he's a perv. I'm just putting that out there.
He's a perv. Ash is extremely underage, traveling with these people. Just leaves his mom. His mom's like, "Bye, son.
Bye.
Yeah.
Get out of my house.
One time.
Go animal cruelty."
Yeah, in cartoon it doesn't look too weird, but you know, like live action, that's super weird.
Yeah, that you're crossing lines.
This old man is giving you a strange creature, and now go into the woods.
Yeah. So before you get off the topic, do you guys have any ideas for in your magical world, even if it's not who you think might be the best idea for it, someone that you think might just be hilarious that you would just personally love to see playing the roles of like Ash or Misty or Brock or whoever?
Christopher Walken in every role. He can play every character.
Nice.
Oh no, I have no idea. Like I can't. Like I said, I would rather have brand new actors who they find and scout and take a very long time to find and develop people that will then become massive celebrities because of the series. I don't personally think I would want to have someone who's already famous within like Hollywood celebrity scene, actor scene. I would personally like them to, you know, create famous people like they did with like Game of Thrones and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
was
I
really
agree.
cool.
I agree because it's like you have no preconceptions then as well about these
Exactly.
actors and like for example, pretty much every movie Daniel Radcliffe is in now, I'm like, oh, there's Harry Potter,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
he's a good actor. Like he plays these roles well, but every time I see him, my thought is that's Harry Potter. So I mean that's probably what would happen next, anyways,
Yeah.
to this actor, anyways. But at least going into it, then they could have a fresh canvas to paint this character on, more or less.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so in my imaginary world, just for the comedy, I would love to see The Rock as Brock, the gym leader.
Dwayne the Brock Johnson.
Yeah, because like the joke is already there, and like I imagine like they both look maybe around the same height and body build and like skin tone and
What do they do with the
everything.
hair? Like Brock's like bedhead. They just got to get like the most ratch looking wig for the Rock.
I don't know. As
God.
long as they don't mess it up as much as like the Dragon Ball Evolution movie,
Okay, fair.
where they got Justin Chatwin, who I actually like as an actor. So when I went to watch that movie, I was like, okay, well they have an actor that I like, and even the actress that they had, I forgot her name, Emma Rossum, I don't remember, but I liked them, and I liked Dragon Ball. So I had hopes that it might be good, but it just completely ruined the original story. And then like I remember one of the things in the interviews, like the actor that they had play Piccolo, he was an actual Dragon Ball Z fan, like a huge fan, and they wanted to make like use his normal skin tone for Piccolo and everything, and he's like, no, we can't do this. You can't make a movie with Piccolo and not have him green. So then like he took, I forgot what it was, like he took less pay or whatever because they had to use some of that to paint his skin green and do all the makeup and stuff, to where they just wanted him to look like basically his normal self, and he's like, no, Piccolo has to be green. So the movie could have been even worse if there wasn't like a dedicated fan on there. And then like in an interview later on, the director, the producer, whoever said like they wish that they had never made it, or if they would have made it, then to be more faithful to it.
Yeah, Jesus.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah, but he said his idea going into it was, or Hollywood's idea was that all of the Dragon Ball fans had already seen the story from the anime and the manga, so they wanted to do something different that was fresh and new and exciting. And it's like, no, that's not, like, you want to make the movie based off the source material, and then if you end up doing something else in the future, that's when you want to change it up a bit. You don't want to like immediately go out and just completely change everything.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
anyways, yeah, The Rock as Brock. I don't know who we would get as Misty. I don't even know. But whenever I think of any movie that has like a younger actor that is just supposed to be on an adventure walking, I keep thinking of Lord of the Rings and getting that same actor, just because I can't really think of anyone else that would be entertaining just to see like walking around all of these places. But anyways, we can move on to the next topic if you guys want. Daniel, did you get the that negative zone thing? Do you know what that is, Holly?
No.
The minus world.
Oh yeah, it's basically like a crazy glitch for the original Zelda game that someone found, to where so like the overworld in the original Zelda,
Right.
there's memory for the like basically there's memory for a square, and the Zelda game only uses like the top half of that square, so everything below the map, it's still in the game, but there's nothing programmed there, so it just takes like random things from different areas and like puts them all in together.
Okay.
It's weird. It's
Yeah.
whack. It's whack.
It's out of
Yeah.
control.
I mean, this is a really new discovery, but it was something that was very well documented with Super Mario Bros. On the NES.
Huh.
The minus world is what people kind of
Yeah, there's a
named it,
video
'cause-
If you can send the article to Holly.
Yeah, definitely. I want
I
to
put it in the Google Doc, but here I'll just throw it in our
I got it.
little Discord chat.
Maybe
Dope.
Holly can like look through the video and skip through it while you read off the article or whatever.
Minus one.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Minus world.
Minus one discovered.
That's the one. Okay, you want me to start on this article?
Yes.
We're doing that podcasting. Okay. This news actually comes from Zelda Dungeon. That's a website.
All right, before we begin,
Oh, no.
because it's related to the last topic, in the chat, Tony says Holly would be the best for Officer Ginny.
Whoa! She's sexy.
Yeah, but then you'd have to play like a million different roles because they all look the same.
But they all also act the same. Like they are.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I'd be good for that. Did you guys notice my cute little Misty shirt too?
Oh,
I didn't even know we were talking about
talking
about the Pokemon.
Tatted up Misty.
I know
Yeah,
she's sexual.
It's like
Look at
Misty.
this girl,
Misty
get it?
in, like,
dude.
how much? Like 10 years after the games.
Yeah.
She's still holding down the gym, but she's hardened.
Yeah,
seen
she's
some
become
shit.
an alternate model. You know, she's a suicide girl now.
She's seen some stuff.
She's done some things.
Oh no.
All right, you can begin, Dan.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Elia Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.